Welcome everybody back to the OMG Wrestling Podcast hiatus. I am Anthony Douglas here along with my co-host with the most, Jack Lubash. How's it going?
It's going. We're back.
We're back and we're finally back for good. We've actually had a lot in store and a lot of things going on where I had to take time away from this podcast, and quite frankly, wrestling wasn't just that interesting to me at a current point when we were doing this podcast. I mean, you can only force yourself to watch so much wrestling to the point where you just don't even want to watch it anymore when there's 18 hours of WWE programming on television and the network and Breaking Ground and Stone Cold podcast and Colt Cabana podcast you try to listen to and catch up with the wrestling world going on. But I think we finally got a grasp. And we're going to have some big announcements we're going to talk about on the podcast. And I do want to give a big shout out right now to the Danger Zone wrestling community on YouTube. Thanks, Chris Danger, a.k.a. Danker, a.k.a. Dank Ops, for letting us upload this to your channel. It'll probably be up there, and then it'll be on iTunes. If you don't subscribe on iTunes, go to omgwrestling.com. Over there is actually a donate button if you want to support the show. Give us monetary donations. You can. If you don't, that's fine too, because we just like you listen to our show, and that's all that it's all about, is just talking about wrestling and dogs growling in the background because it's a circus in here, but that's the way we live our lives, and that's the way that I like it. So, Jack, without further ado, want to break some news about the Big M Pro and let everybody know what happened, and we'll go into detail on why this happened. Sort of give a backstory of what we did first and all that.
You take it away. Oh, I thought you were going to give a background.
No, I want you to
You take it away, Jack, but I'm going to talk some more.
No, I want you to get, like, before you tell everybody, like, what we did, how we got involved, basically what the deal is.
So for those of you that do know and those of you that don't know, Anthony Douglas and myself were involved in a independent professional wrestling organization called Magnum Pro Wrestling. I started about 2.5 years ago. Tony started about 2 years ago. And what we did was I was brought on, and I started as a camera guy, and I brought on like a crew and whatnot, and basically we grew, and we had a really amazing production. Basically, between Tony and myself and a few others, we filmed the shows. I would edit the shows together. We'd make promos. We'd do interviews with the performers, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them. And we were part of creative. We wrote a lot of the storylines, which once we started doing that, things started looking up. We were able to go to bigger venues, which allowed us to bring on some former like WWE talent like Drew Galloway and Matt Sydal, Stevie Richards. It was a great time. We had fun. We made a lot of friends. But things started to I'd say maybe about would you say probably about like 6 months ago or so started to kind of change.
Yeah, it sort of seemed like things were unraveling and it wasn't going the way we thought they should be going.
And let me clarify. Okay, we are no longer affiliated with Magnum Pro. We actually about a month ago, Tony and myself gave our resignation, and we didn't quit because things weren't going our way. Let's just say that. Magnum was on a very it was on a very like good incline, I would say. Like people were talking about Magnum Pro, and that's where everybody wanted to be. We had amazing storylines, production was top notch, and before I go on, I want to say I don't have any grudges against anybody, and I appreciate all the time that I had in Magnum. I appreciate the opportunities that were given to me. I don't have a bad taste left in my mouth from it, but it became a time where things were getting cut from, basically our knees were getting taken out below us because there was restrictions on things that we could film, couldn't film. Some of the decisions that were being made just didn't make sense. Like
The real thing that I will say, an overall general statement of it, is it felt like the things that we didn't matter, and the things that should have mattered didn't matter in the company anymore.
Mhm.
It's like when we came on, we basically introduced promos. That was never a thing. Backstage interviews and stuff like that. We had a lot of cameras to work with where the guys could get, almost television ready because we had 5, 6 cameras per show, a jib, a hard cam, 2 entrance cam. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that we brought to the table. And you can only put your heart and soul into something so much to where you're never going to see the results that you want. It's like we put everything, and it's not even about money because money
Not at
always
all.
gets brought
Nope.
up. Yeah, sure. I could have stayed if I would have got paid a little bit more, but would my heart be in it? Would I feel good about it? I really can't put myself behind something that I'm not 100% behind. And when I'm backstage in that locker room and I don't even feel the passion from the talent, I don't feel the passion from the owner, I don't feel I just feel out of place there. And it's like to the point where if we did a video or not, it wouldn't even matter. Like nobody questioned it. Nobody asked. Nobody said, why didn't you do a preview show? Nobody cared, at least backstage. Fans would come up to us and miss that stuff. Wrestlers would come up and ask for that stuff. But other than that, if we didn't do it, it didn't matter. And it just felt like it wasn't what it once was. And that's why we had to step out, because creatively it was just not fulfilling. And that's the point where you have to step back and take a look at the bigger picture. Like, is it really worth it? I mean, for the most part, we stayed around as long as we did. It was because we loved the wrestlers,
Right.
and it was a passion of ours.
You said if you were given offered more money, you would have stayed. Honestly, I wouldn't.
No, I didn't say that. I said
Oh.
if we would have got more money, it would have been easier. But
Yeah,
it wasn't
but
about money. It's like
it's not.
Like I
And
said, creatively, I was not fulfilled at all. It was like another Magnum show, I guess. And then it only felt good when I was on that commentary table next to you, really.
it felt like the top priority for Magnum was just making as much money as we possibly could. And I understand that in order for a business to succeed and continue on, it needs to bring in money. I understand
Right.
that, but I believe that the higher powers were expecting to make more money than the company was really worth. Magnum was big, or it is big locally, but outside of Nebraska and Iowa, I don't think many people know about it.
No.
Yeah, some people do, but it's just like
There was a small pocket of fans in Omaha that were invested in this, and then once some wrestlers decided, you know what, I'm not getting treated the way I want to, or I just need to take time away, and then they started to go, then those fans started to go, and then production went down, and that started to hinder the company too. And then you could just tell the talent was upset too, because they would come up to us and be like, what's going on? Why can't I do a video? I want to see my matches. And I'm like,
we couldn't really
I'm
answer
sorry,
them.
I can't. There's nothing I can do. I mean, my hands are tied. And I understand where it's like, is it really worth it? Is this really doing anything for the company? And in other people's eyes, it wasn't doing anything for the company. But
Well,
to me,
the people that mattered, our stuff, when it got pulled out from under us, and when I say the people that matter, it's the fans.
yeah,
They noticed something was different. They were asking us what happened to all the promos, what happens to the go home shows that you guys were doing. They knew something was different, and I mean it's showing too, because a lot of fans don't come to shows anymore, and it's because certain talents left, and it's also because it wasn't the same. Like the shows used to be built up in like a way that every show was a WrestleMania, and the guys would go out there and they perform, and it's just like you were sick, you had a virus, a stomach virus or something like that, so the last show that we worked at Magnum, you weren't there, but it was like the vibe in that locker room was just, it was sad, and it made me sad. Like I was literally sick to my stomach, and I still am sick to my stomach because I didn't want to leave, but we gave opportunities, but everything that we said, it was just like in one ear and out the other, and our opinion didn't really matter because been said before that we're just marks.
Yeah.
We don't know the business, which I'm 100% happy to be a mark, but being a mark doesn't mean that you don't know anything. And I believe that I add a lot to the table. I know how to tell a story. I know how to create characters, but it was taken away.
Here's what really worked. It was like the four of us, which was me, you, I guess Logan wasn't as much on creative side as us, but it was basically like me and you and a couple wrestlers talking about it, and we'd always bring like these crazy ideas and figure out how can we make that work in a wrestling sense. We're not dumb enough to think that we can book a wrestling match because we're not that naive. We don't think, oh yeah, I could book a wrestling match. No, I probably wouldn't know how to put a match together, but that's why we put the right people in place where we would come up with storylines that make sense and then have the wrestlers kind of shape it together and be like, well, you know what? Maybe an Iron Man match isn't the best way to go.
Right.
What if we just give the fans what they want and we have the match go out the way it should be? And we're like, that sounds phenomenal. Let's do that. Because my idea is always not the best idea, but I always want other people to bring stuff to the table. And that's the big thing that I always tried to fight for. I always fought for the people that were lower than us. I always fought for the cameraman, the people working the merch table, and I was like, you need to pay those people. Those are the people that are working hard for your company, and you need to pay them. Regardless if you want to or not, the show wouldn't be anything without them. So I always fought for them, and I always fought for the wrestlers too. And I always think, even if I don't like somebody and they have a good idea or they're good for the company, keep them around.
Right.
That's what I say. I know there's a wrestler out there who I wasn't particularly fond with just because of his attitude, but I said, you know what? If he's going to be good and you want to use him for your show. I can deal with it. I'll bury the hatchet for one night and put on a show with him. It's fine. Like, I don't care. I have no grudges and nothing with anybody in the wrestling business. Even in Magnum Pro, I could care less. I want them to succeed. Mm-hmm. I want them to be better. I want them to come back in a year and be like, see, you guys shouldn't have left. And then I'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have, but
yeah. Well, and that's
something
it.
I have to.
I'm not wishing anything bad on Magnum Pro. I think I hope that Magnum Pro stays where at the top of the game where they once were. I hope they get back to there because I mean anybody knows that they lost a step. It's not the same as it used to be, but the thing is you roll with the punches, you adjust, and you make changes. And I hope that they continue to have success. I just personally couldn't be there anymore because I didn't agree with how things were done there and how some decisions were made. It's just morally I couldn't be a part of that. And we just had a cat walk in front of your camera. He's gonna go down there now.
That's all right.
But yeah, it's sad. And the sad thing is that there are people that are still there that, you know, most people don't know the story why we left. I mean, I didn't go out and just like tell everybody the next day everything, every detail. But, you know, the people that talk, I know that we're being painted in a bad way, that we are the jerks that left high and dry. Well, we didn't leave high and dry. You know, there was lots of times where we threw our ideas out there of how we wanted to change things to make it better, to make money, to bring in more fans, but everything was just shot down because, you know, we're marks. We don't know what we're talking about. But I would just hope that people would understand that we didn't make this decision overnight, and that it was something that we thought long and hard of. We tried to change it, but it just didn't happen, and we wish well for everybody. And it's a chapter, like it's a chapter of my life I'm not ashamed of.
No,
I enjoyed my time in Magnum Pro. Like Magnum Pro at one time was like my life. Like I loved it. I could not wait for the shows to get there, and we had so much fun. Like where else could we got to go hang out with Stevie Richards.
I got to be half naked in the middle of a wrestling ring. I'd never get that opportunity without Magnum Pro, and it was awesome. And I will thank them a million times. Thank you over and over. Everybody involved in Magnum Pro, from the guy that sets up the ring to the guy that's the world champion. I want to thank everybody, seriously. But honestly, I feel that creatively, Magnum had shifted to where it wanted to be more just a in-ring live event company, which is the way that I feel that it's going, versus where a lot of people, and I'm not just saying this to toot my own horn, but a lot of people said that Magnum strived at the best when we had the production value, where we had the promos, the interviews, the YouTube videos, but it seems like they've just shifted to another point where they just want to put on live events, because there's a lot of independent wrestling companies out there that all they do is release a poster and have an event once a month. And I think that's the way Magnum wants to go, and it's fine if that's what you want to do. But personally, that's not my kind of wrestling company.
No, I agree 100% with that. I'm more of the storylines, long-term storylines, and that these guys are wrestling for a reason. That's
exactly true. I mean, there's a time and a place for great wrestling. Like PWG has his niche, and they have their stuff, but they don't have the storylines that'll keep the audience invested a long term. Like, I remember watching Stone Cold drive out in a beer truck, and that involved like one wrestling move and the whole thing, and that's what hooked me when I was a kid, and that's what I want to be. That's what I enjoy, is just having that story that you can grasp with. Wrestling's a male soap opera.
I was just going to say, as a child, that's how wrestling was explained to me. Professional wrestling was the male adult soap opera.
Like, I remember the biggest thing ever was The Undertaker kidnapping Stephanie McMahon, and that had like zero wrestling involved with it. I mean, there was, but what are you doing over there?
The cat's about to do a swanton bomb. You can leave him
up there. If he just sits up there, that's fine. I don't care.
I think he's about to do a swanton bomb on
He'll be all right. But yeah, so, there's two roads that you can take when things get you down and you're kind of upset and you're not having fun at what you're doing. You can either quit and give it up, Magnum didn't work out. We can just stop. It was fine. It was fun while it was, but nothing will ever happen. Or you can learn from your failures. You can learn from what happened, and you can move on, and you can try to create something that is even better than what you had in the past, and that's what we're taking the steps here.
So are we going to announce this right here?
I can let you take it if you have any more to say about Magnum Pro or any. But basically, I'm just saying we are not quitting. We're actually taking a step forward, taking a step back first, looking at, do we really want to do this? And yeah, we do.
Well, before we go on to that, I just want to say, you said it before. I want to thank everybody that was involved in Magnum.
Of course.
Thank you like a million times. I would hope that people would understand that we weren't using the company for anything. We were actually trying to make that company the absolute best it could be and bring out the absolute best in the talent that was there and give the fans the absolute best shows they possibly could. And we did that for a while, but again, thank you. I enjoyed every minute I had there. Now, with that being said, what I'm about to say now, this is another thing that did not just happen overnight. This is something that has been a dream of mine my whole entire life, ever since I was a little kid, up through high school, into my young adult life, into my now 30s. I'm in my 30s, dude. I'm 32 years old. That's
dude, I know.
Crazy to think I'm 32 years old, but
it's the best time to be alive, because in your 20s you don't know what you want to do. Now you're in your 30s and you finally figured it out.
That's exactly right. It took me 32 years to figure out what I was put on this earth to do. And I always thought it was movies. I didn't always think it was movies, but for a long time now, I've wrote and directed a few short films, and I even wrote and directed a feature film, which is actually out on DVD. And I mean, that to me is a huge accomplishment to me, that I was able to create this movie with the help of a lot of very talented people. But Anthony and myself, Tony, I just feel weird calling you Anthony. I just feel Tony is just so much better.
Whatever. I'm cool either way.
We've had this vision, and there's other people that are going to be involved, like Logan and some other people, but we have been working very hard the past few weeks at this.
It's almost been ever since we left. I feel like it's been
a month. It's been a month, just about a month, a little under a month. But we have been doing a lot of work, and I mean, I'm talking like, scouting and finding all these contacts and budgeting and business meetings, and I mean, we're still neck deep into that stuff, and we will be for a while. But we are going to finally bring our own independent professional wrestling promotion starting in Omaha, Nebraska. We are going to start our own promotion. It's going to be unlike anything that this area has seen. It's going to have top-notch production. It's going to have top-notch talent. The fans, this is like, it's going to be a promotion that celebrates independent professional wrestling. We've been scouting, Tony and I have been scouting out a lot of talent on YouTube.
Yeah. All over the place, not just Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, all over. We have made contacts with a lot of very business savvy people. I consider Tony and myself also business savvy. I know there are some people that are probably listening to this that will disagree with that, but that's whatever they want. They can believe what they want. They can think what they want. We're both very business smart. But we are going to take all these talents and connections that we have to make this promotion the absolute best. I mean, we're talking like our vision is like WWE NXT caliber independent wrestling.
Right. And that's, I know when people hear that, they're like, that's totally BS, but it truly is. Like, we wouldn't come out and say this if this wasn't something that we were going to do. Like, if I have to put every dime that I have and every ounce of energy that I possibly have in my entire body, I'm going to make this happen. Not just for me, not just for Jeremy and Jack, whatever you want to call him. This is for everybody. This is something, like he said, this is to celebrate independent professional wrestling. Really, wrestling has become a dirty word. People are like, it's fake. We don't like it. I mean, sure, the network's out there, but even then, does that truly satisfy you? I don't think so. I think we have so much great ideas and a vision and a group of people that we want to work with that know 100% back us. They know that we can do this because we had to put that up there first. We had to figure out, is this even worth doing?
Yeah, are people going to take us seriously?
Is there local talent that are going to say, maybe you guys don't know what you're doing. Maybe you don't talk about that. And that has not happened yet. We have talked to so many people, and the response has been basically this: I don't care if I don't wrestle for you guys. Let me do anything. And that's literally the best response we can possibly have because they know what we've done in the past and what we can do in the future. And that's just what we want to do.
It's one of those things. And again, there's people out there, there's promoters, and I'm not just talking about promoters here and in this area. I'm just talking about promoters in general that are going to look at us and our vision that we have in the way of doing things. And they're going to be like, good luck with that. This is one thing I said when I guess you could say my resignation letter to Magnum Pro. This is one thing I said, and I truly 150% agree with this. I think that respect goes a lot farther than money does. And so far, it has been 100% true, that statement. I mean, if you show people respect, they will listen to you, they will follow you, they will do what they can. And I'm not putting somebody on a pedestal and telling them what they want to hear. Everything that I say is from the heart. It's true. If I don't like something, I'm going to let you know. But the people that we have contacted, and there's a lot more, so if there's somebody listening that's like, hey, I worked with you guys and I haven't received an email or a phone call, it's coming. I promise you that. But I mean, we're meticulous with the people that we're meeting with first. The people that we're meeting with now, there's a reason why we're meeting with them is because they're
vital to what we want to do.
Yeah, they're vital to what we want to do. we respect and value their opinion, and for them to come out and they're not just telling us what we want to hear. They're actually it's from the heart. I can read people's expressions, and we are meeting with people face to face because we want to be able to talk to them face to face. We don't want to just talk to them through email or
well, we
a
owe
text
people
message.
that respect to meet with them, and because you can only say so much via text or words. You have to face to face meet with somebody, tell them your vision, and get their response. And if they say, well, maybe you should do this different, or what about this idea? It's like, we're always open for that. And that's
right. And that's, I want them to see like how infectious and excited we are about this promotion. Like, I can honestly look at this camera and say that we're starting this promotion, and it's not to make money. Like, making money for myself is the last thing on my list. Making money to put into the next show and to pay the talent and pay the people that are putting all their efforts into it, that's what I want. But that is not the number one priority to me. I mean, number one priority is a place for people to have fun. It's again, to celebrate independent professional wrestling, because the indies is where it's at right now in my eyes.
yeah.
So this is something that we've been working hard on. We are going to be working a lot harder on it in the coming months. Once the new year hits, I mean, you think we're busy now. I mean, once that new year hits and the holidays are over and people are finally settled down and they don't have to worry about, do I have enough money to buy my
Right.
family presents and stuff? That's when we're really going to talk to people when their mind's clear. It's a new year. It's time to start fresh. And
don't think right away that this is just something we think that we can accomplish overnight, because that's not true. We don't have a goal of like, yeah, next month we're going to run a wrestling show.
No.
That's not realistic. We actually have thought about this. Yes, believe it or not, we actually have a brain, and we decided we're going to wait. We're going to put all the puzzle pieces together, and we're going to try and accomplish this the right way, the way that it should be done, and celebrate independent professional wrestling the way it should be. And Omaha's not the last stop for us either. I mean, we're looking to branch out anywhere and everywhere that we possibly can.
And we know it's going to take some baby steps to get there, but you know, we're coming at this from many different angles here. And like he said, we've thought about everything, and it's going to be, you know, we are working at a fast pace, but we're also not working so fast that we're going to make mistakes and stupid decisions.
Right.
It's an exciting time for us. Like Tony said, I mean, I'm going to put every ounce of energy and money that I can into this to make it happen. I mean, it's not a question of if it's going to happen. It's a question of when and how soon will we be able to have it happen. And I mean, I can tell you this, we've been talking about like our first show that we'd like to do, and obviously, yeah, it's going to change over time,
Right.
But you know, you dream and you think of things, and I mean, our first show that we're going to do, it's just going to be off the wall, and people are going to be hooked. They're going to love it.
The idea is something that I've never heard from a wrestling company trying to produce for their first show, or even do on their anniversary show or their 500th show, or whatever you want to say. It's something that I believe is something that this area is not seen and is wanting a lot of. And it's just to the point where you just have to take this risk. That's the biggest thing about this, is we want to take this risk. If we do one show and that's all we ever do, that's fine. But that's not what I want to do. I want to put my heart and soul in this, and I want to create the best thing that I can be proud of. Because for a while, I was like, do I even want to tell people I'm associated? You know, because it's just like, I'm not proud of it. And if I'm not proud of my work, I don't want to be doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm going to ask you, is that still recording over there?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, it didn't look like it was recording. I like looked over your shoulder and I'm like, what the hell? No, and this is definitely something that anybody involved is going to be proud of. And it's a thing where your opinion matters. You're not going to be told, well, you just go do this and don't worry about it. I mean, we're going to take in people's ideas and actually, is that a great idea? Yeah, let's use it. It's just it's one of those things where we're going to listen to everybody and anybody and see what they have to say. I mean, does that mean that we're going to use their idea? No, but we're at least going to take it into consideration and see what we can do with it.
Well, it really goes down to the respect thing. The one thing that I ultimately want to do when we have a roster of guys and talented people that work hard for what they do, including cameramen, including people that run merch tables, including people that do tickets, website, whatever, street team, whatever they do, I want to make sure that they're taken care of. And that's the one thing that is very, very high in my mind. I don't ever want to doubt, oh my God, where am I going to get money to pay these guys? I want to be able to, whoa, I hit a button. I want to be able to pay them when they walk in the door if they're hardworking people for me. Like cameramen, if they're there every show and they're filming the show, there's no reason they shouldn't get paid right away. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to come up to them after the show and be like, well, we didn't do as well as I wanted to, so we can only pay you this much. That's not how I want to run my business. And I think that's showing respect right there. If you treat people right, they will do an honest, hardworking job for you. And that's how I feel. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I've always said that, and I've always used this, like, every job that I've had, I've been put into a manager's position. I never ask for it. They see how I work, and that shows like how hard of a worker I am. So there's like, we want to make you a manager. Well, some of these places, I'll use this as an example. I was a manager at a grocery store, and every night the manager of the store, he would leave around like 5-6 o'clock. So from 6 to 10 o'clock when the store closed, they need somebody to run it. So it was one of the managers of a department, which was me. We'd take turns every night. Well, that store, there was so many things that had to be done at night before he could close. I would come in like the nights when I didn't close and another manager would, and I would see the place. It was disgusting. It was messy. It didn't look like anything got done. And the nights that I would work and was closing manager, the place was just, it was spotless. It looked great. And one of the managers asked me, it's like, how do you get the people to do stuff for you? And I'm like, well, this is what I took into consideration, what I noticed. Mm-hmm. The other managers, when the main manager would leave, they would just go sit up in the office and they would play on their phones, or they were on the computer, and they would basically just point and be like, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Well, my way of working was I would be down there on the floor working with these people. I would not put myself above them. I was actually, if I asked them to do something, they knew that I would actually do it. I was the one back there cleaning toilets. I was out on the floor helping them straighten up, doing all the jobs that a manager's not supposed to do.
Right.
So if you show people respect and show them that you're willing to do anything that you would ask them to do, they will show you in return. And I mean, I don't know if that makes sense to what you were just talking about, but it does. To me, it does, because if you're willing to go out there and not put yourself above somebody and actually listen to them, show them respect, and do work with them, I think they'll do anything, rather than if you were that kind of person that would always just sit back, relax, have your feet up, and not do anything, and then tell people to do all this stuff. Obviously, they're not going to respect you, and they're not going to do stuff for you, because they think that you wouldn't do it in return.
Right. That's exactly what I feel too. I
feel like that was a waste. I don't know. I just feel passionate about that, and I really do.
No, that's a true statement. Like, I've seen a lot of managers that I've worked with that are just pieces of crap who just sit on their pedestal, and then, oh, well, why is this company not working out? Well, maybe because you don't do anything, or, maybe because you're just an asshole. That's another thing. You can't treat people like crap and then expect them to stay with you through thick and thin. That's just not how it works. It's like, you have to show respect to earn respect, and it goes a long way. And I agree with you, like 100%, that respect goes farther than money. And I believe that if people know that you respect them, they'll work hard for you for no money. But that's not how I want to do it. I would want to pay them what they're worth and actually appreciate what they do, and know that their opinion is valued. Like
Right.
a simple thing, like one of the guys sent us a song, like, hey, what do you think of this song to use for the wrestling promotion? And I was like, well, I mean, it's okay, but we have to worry about copyright issues and stuff, so maybe it could be like a show theme. And he's like, thank you. That's all I wanted was an honest opinion. I've never gotten that before. So just thank you for that honest opinion. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what we're doing in all these meetings, just being completely honest with people, even if they don't agree with it or whatever. It's like, well, this is the vision that we have. If you're not on board, I mean, I understand, but this is what we want to accomplish. And then we have such a huge, passionate vision that I would love to spoil right now, but I can't.
I know it's driving me crazy. It's like we've made a lot of contacts, and there's a lot of people on board, and there's a lot of things that are going to be done that have not been done. And the thing that is great to me, in my opinion, is like for us, we don't have somebody that can say no to our
Exactly.
ideas. And I'm not saying that our ideas are always the best, but a lot of our ideas have worked in the past. And I'm not just talking wrestling. I'm talking a lot of things in life. And so, I mean, again, we're not stupid. We understand how this business works, and it's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and it's not going to be too much longer to where you're actually going to be able to go on this journey with us. I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into that.
Well, I'm just going to say this, that even though you may be, somewhere else in the world listening to this somewhere else, you'll still have a chance to join us through this journey. We are a production company first. I focus on YouTube. You guys can put the puzzle pieces together. That's all I'm going to say, because this journey is not going to be something that I'm just going to do with, me and Jeremy, and then we're just going to, no one's going to see it. Like, everybody's going to know. Okay. Everybody's going to get behind it, and everybody's going to know, and it's going to be something that you can physically, tangibly see, put your finger on, and get as much passion out of it as we're putting into it.
Very much so. We talk about it. I mean, let's hear your idea. Let's hear your opinions. What do you think about this?
Let me ask you this question, listener, watcher, viewer, person on the other end of this one-way conversation. What do you want to see in a wrestling company? What would you like to see that hasn't been done or has been done that you want to see in a wrestling company? That's just a question I'm going to pose now, so you can leave that in the comment section or whatever. Text me, Skype me, whatever you want to do. But that's the question. I'm always open for that question. Like, that's a really good place to start, and you can give us feedback. You can tell us what you like, what you don't, and then we see more people say some of the same things. It's like, maybe we should listen. Right. Open your ears every once in a while and listen to what people are saying. Whew. Yeah.
Exciting.
I am excited for this. I am super passionate about this. I want to spill all the beans. I even want to spill some of the...
in due time.
And some of the ideas we have, some of the things, but you can't, because if you do, someone else might pick it up, and that's not what we want. We want this to be the vision that we have, and I don't know, that's where we're going now. We're taking this crazy journey, which I always just sit back and wonder, is this really worth, like, what if we do this and we fail and it doesn't ever work out? But I don't ever have like a doubt in my mind that
this isn't going to fail. It is not. I mean, there might be people out there that are going to try to make it fail and hope it fails, but it's not going to.
It's almost like a personal journey for myself to just see like what I can accomplish with what we have now, which is basically almost nothing, and then to bring it to where we want by putting people in the right places, to building this empire that I want to build, which honestly we'll probably never get to the Empire State, but it's something that I want to do. I want to see that I can do this and that we can do this together. And the good thing about me and Jack over here is that we have a vision that is on the same path of what we want to do. And that's the best thing, because if you butt heads right away, it's not going to work. But we have the same vision of like, we saw what was different and we want to make it better.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that is crazy, is that I don't think we've really argued once about anything, because we have that same vision and understand where we want to go. And I think we both have the same deadline too,
right
as to when we want this to take place.
Well, a good thing is like that I think that me and you have over a lot of people is that if we have a problem with something or a doubt or whatever, we'll just bring it up right away and we'll be like, well, what about this? This is not going to work. And then we'll discuss it before we're like, well, fuck you. Don't ever talk to me again. It's like, no, I'd rather sit here and solve this, be honest and open, and make this company the best we can, because we both have the same interest, is to make a successful wrestling company. And we want to do it at any means necessary, which means just agreeing or disagreeing, taking others' opinions, valuing that, and making out the best thing that you can possibly do.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're going to want to stay tuned because this journey is underway and soon you will be able to be a part of it with us. Step one is actually listening to this.
Yes.
But yeah, no. It's exciting times with this. Also, those that follow us know that we started a documentary called Marks. It's still real to me that we started filming at WrestleMania 31, and we will be wrapping up filming at WrestleMania 32 this year. That's still something that we're working on in addition to this new independent professional wrestling promotion.
Yeah, and that's a big reason also why I want to do this promotion, is because we get to go out to many different wrestling promotions and we get to see how well it is and how good or not good or bad or whatever choice word you want to say it isn't, because there's a lot of really good wrestling promotions out there and there's a lot of really bad ones out there, and I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly.
Yeah, we've been to a lot. Like, we've traveled a lot of places for this documentary. We were actually talking about that with Logan the other night, and it's like we've gone to quite a few places, and that's something I'm proud to be a part of, because first and foremost, I am a wrestling fan, or a mark, whatever you want to say, and to be able to do this documentary for the fans, it's awesome, because it was your vision, Tony, to do this, because you're just like, the fans are as big a part of the show as the superstars, but there hasn't been anything out there for the fans to talk about the fans, the ones that make it possible for these wrestlers to go out and perform in that ring. I mean, I think the Macho Man character at WrestleMania 31 put it best, that if it wasn't for the fans, these gals would be going out and performing in front of empty seats. It's the truth, and it's opened our eyes, because you see the good, you see the bad, you see the ugly, and the thing is, even with the ugly, you still see the passion in the you're at some places where we're at Mania where there was like 90,000 people there, and then you're in some place where there's like 30 people there, and those 30 people have the same excitement as the people at WrestleMania did.
Oh, I know. They sometimes even more, because a lot of times wrestling doesn't come in those areas, and they just see it and they're just like, wow, this is awesome. And it's just an escape for them, and that's really what makes it so special about wrestling versus like any other form of media. It's like you can get involved. You make or break a character. If you boo a guy, then he becomes a bad guy.
Right.
If you cheer a guy, he becomes a good guy. And
I mean, look at what they did for Matt Hardy back in the day when he was released from WWE, and then because they kept cheering for him and chanting for him, and he was brought back, and that was because of the fans.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're doing this documentary too, is just to showcase everybody and how important they are. And like, there's so many weirdos out there, and it's awesome. Like, not in a bad way. There's like a billion weird wrestling fans, and I love capturing all of that, because people that dress up, people that go to shows all the time, there's just so many different people out there, and it's such a great place to be. Like, it's just a great form of entertainment to be involved in, because there's nothing else there like that. Like, you have those NFL fans that wear the jerseys, but that's about the extent to it. It's like,
well, you want to know the craziest thing about this traveling and filming is that at every single stop we've made, every promotion we went to, there's always somebody there that knows TonyPizzaGuy. He's got
not everyone.
Not everyone, but everywhere we've gone, there has been somebody that's like, "Hey, it's TonyPizzaGuy."
Well, what do I say? I'm famous.
Yeah. But it's been great to be able to travel. And I mean, we still have some places we are going to travel to. I mean, it's winding down. I think we only have a couple more stops before we hit Dallas for WrestleMania 32. But this is one thing that it's another chapter in my life that I can be proud of. I mean, depending whether this documentary fails or succeeds, I still wouldn't have had it any other way. I mean, not many people can travel across the country with two of their best buds to film something that they're so passionate about that's always been a constant in their life. So, and that's one thing. If you haven't seen the documentary or the teasers, we have a couple teaser trailers out there. The website's not up, but
yeah, it is.
Oh, I thought the website was taken down.
No,
I got hacked.
I put it back up like a long time ago. Thanks for paying attention, by the way.
We were just at that one, the last place in South Dakota we were. Somebody was asking. I said that to somebody, and you're like, "Nope, it's been hacked."
No, that was like months ago.
Well, anyways, I guess go to imamark.com and you can check out the trailers and see the progression of the film. See some of the people that are in the film, which. There's
the list is growing. I will say that
it is, and the funny thing is Alberto Del Rio was in it, and now he's back in the WWE. So it's kind of cool.
It's such a strange time, but it was at a time where he was available, and now we got him in our movie. And that's a pretty interesting question of what it's like working independent versus WWE. And he was basically saying that he loves working independent. Now he's back in WWE. So that's funny. But
I will say this, though. I mentioned this last night when we were watching Survivor Series. He looks a lot more ripped now that he's back.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he must have worked hard and going to AAA in Mexico and Lucha Underground and all that. So,
but
kudos to him for doing all that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, those are our projects that we're working on, and I mean. We still, I haven't watched Raw in forever. I tend to watch just the pay-per-views and NXT.
By the time you watch the pay-per-view, you're already like filled in with everything because they do This Week in WWE and all this other stuff. So you get filled in.
I mean, let's talk about Survivor Series, which was, wow, that was loud.
Sorry.
Which took place. It was last night. I don't know when this is going to be aired, but
yeah, we'll kind of finish up here. I don't really have like a outline of the card or the pay-per-view or the recap of everything. We'll just talk about stuff that's off the top of our head right now. Really, first thing that comes to my head is Xavier Woods' hair.
That's a nice pun.
Because that was ridiculous, and it was great, and they left their Survivor Series match to tend to Big E, which I think Big E was faking his injury, but whatever. So, so then they ended up losing, which was fun. But his hair was ridiculous. I don't even know. It was out of control.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Raw. I only get to see him on the pay-per-views. They seem to be having fun, the New Day, which is awesome. I don't know. I don't like the fact that they're teamed with Barrett and Sheamus.
Sheamus had that funny little line where he's gonna get jiggy with it.
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious, but you didn't like it at all.
An hour and a half later, he's the champion. So
wow, yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's not even wait. Roman Reigns, which was kind of a lackluster finish to their match. Like it was just one spear and it's over. I was like, okay. And he went over Dean Ambrose, which I honestly thought that Dean Ambrose was going to turn and be the corporate champion. That was my thoughts of the whole thing. What did you think?
Well, it was going to go one of two ways, either that way or the way it happened with Sheamus cashing in. I'm glad they didn't go the route with Dean Ambrose turning corporate and stuff. I agree that Dean Ambrose needs to be heel. I think he would play a better heel, but I don't want him to be with the Authority. I think he would be a better heel on his own.
It just makes me I just think that guy needs a kick in the butt or some sort of character change because he's just not as intriguing as he should be. Same with like a Bray Wyatt. Like he needs a shift of some sort or a win maybe. too.
I think
Bray Wyatt.
I think they pretty much
Both of them are in the same boat where they just have matches. They win sometimes and then they lose. I don't know.
Bray's been buried so many times now that there's no coming back from it. You can keep adding more and more guys with big beards like I have now. But it's just, I understand it was 25 years of The Undertaker and this and that, but obviously Undertaker's career is winding down. It's probably coming very much to a halt, which his last match will probably be WrestleMania.
We'll talk about that a little bit. You brought it up last night about Taker's 25 years career, and what were you saying? Do you even remember what you were saying?
I don't remember what I was
saying. When you were saying about how he's wrestling on all these shows now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I the reason I think that he's going to actually retire for good after WrestleMania is because let's look at previous years. Undertaker wrestled at WrestleMania, and he took the whole year off, and then the month before Mania, he would start making his presence known again, and then he would appear at Mania, and then he was gone. Well, now, okay, Undertaker was at Mania, then he was at SummerSlam. He's been at like Hell in the Cell. He's being like he's wrestling like a part-time wrestler's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's just like getting his last hoorah in before he retires. And again, I said this about WrestleMania this past year. He shouldn't have had a loss he shouldn't have lost to Brock Lesnar. I think Bray Wyatt should have won, especially with Undertaker having a loss. Like, there is no reason why the Undertaker should have went on to beat Bray Wyatt. His career is coming to an end. Pass the torch.
Which also, he just beat Bray Wyatt again, so he beat Bray Wyatt twice. Like,
right, and it makes no sense. It's just 25 years. He needs to pass the torch. But the thing is, he's probably going to pass the torch to somebody that doesn't need.
Well, the rumored WrestleMania match is Taker versus John Cena, which would have been intriguing if the streak was still around, but it's not. So now you just have a match that doesn't really mean anything to me.
I think Cena has a bright future.
Unless they, the rumors were that Cena would get the title and then they do title versus career or something.
That has no value to me, at least. I don't care if Undertaker wins.
WrestleMania is sold out. They sold 90,000 tickets in one day or whatever. It's sold out, and there's no more seats, so they can do whatever they want. 90,000 tickets sold really fast.
I'm gonna ask this question: if anybody listening is in the first couple rows for Mania this year, can you please explain to me how you paid $10,000 for your seat? I can't fathom. Excuse me. As much as I love wrestling, I cannot fathom paying $10,000 for a 4-hour event.
Well, let me tell you this. I drove to New Orleans in a car, 2 other people, to see WrestleMania 30. I think with my ticket, hotel, car ride, drinking, all of that, I didn't spend over $500 for the whole trip. And now people are spending, I didn't even spend $1,000. People are spending 10 times the amount of money that I spent on an entire trip to see
the thing is that the WWE is making it so you can't just buy one ticket. You have to buy 2 tickets. So you have to at least.
You don't have to buy 2.
I thought that's what you guys said.
You pay more money if you don't buy 2.
Oh.
So it's like the rates go up. And a big thing is that they're not getting the arena free this year. So then they have to pay extra for the arena. So usually they're giving the arenas if you didn't know that. But
well, it's just I don't $10,000 for something. I mean, there's a lot of.
I'd buy a car.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things.
Put a down payment on a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
You want to trade in your ticket for a wrestling promotion?
I'm not saying
I'll make you the owner.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the people that spent the money on it, but it's just like I just literally want to know like why somebody would spend that much on a 4-hour event. I could understand spending that amount of money on like you get front row seats for the 4 big pay-per-views like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. I mean, even then that's kind of like a lot, but
you get 30 minutes with Janet Jameson.
You,
I don't know.
you should say what you said about what should be included in the price of that ticket.
Oh, I said if you're gonna pay $10,000, you better do it with Becky Lynch and Paige.
Hell yeah.
That better be included. But
that would probably be the only way that I would spend that amount of money on a ticket for WrestleMania. But
I mean, WrestleMania is like there's an experience. That's an experience like none other.
I agree.
But I
with
don't
that.
think it's a $10,000 experience like none other.
No, I mean, last year was my first WrestleMania, and it was incredible. Like, you know, at the time I didn't realize it, but now that it's been like 9-10 months or whatever it was, since 9 months or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, that was an experience, and I get excited for
It's
this
just
year's.
like it's like not even the event is like secondary to everything that goes on.
Right.
Like the whole weekend leading up to it with the NXT show, to the Access, to the pre-show, and all the fun stuff they do at Mania. Like you just can't have as much passionate people come together to see one event. Even like going to the Super Bowl, you would never find that type of experience.
No. But you know, the rich get richer. WWE, I just think of like, God, if I ran a successful business to where I was at the point where I can charge $10,000 for my first couple row seats and people would snatch them up like that. I mean, that's saying something that you about your company.
I don't even want to pay
that.
$10 to go to a concert, let alone $10,000 to go to Mania.
I know, but the people do it, and they're going to continue to do it, and I guess that's why we love WWE so much.
Oh yeah, WWE, woo, you're the best. No, but seriously, it's awesome. WrestleMania is great. If you've never been, I suggest you go to a Mania. Doesn't matter where your seats are, you're gonna have a good time.
I was front row upper bowl last year, dead on with the entryway. That was
I was like upper bowl at 30, and I was happy. Like I don't even care. It was like
those are the best seats, I think.
It's a great experience with like-minded people who love wrestling, and even if you really don't like the show, you're still going to remember the weekend for being an awesome time. You got to go at least Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But at least give yourself 2 extra days to take in everything, because you'll be walking down the street and people will start doing the Daniel Bryan yes chant. And it's like, well, wherever else are you going to see this? Never.
The thing that was just crazy to me was, you know, when we were driving, because we drove out there, just getting into the city of San Jose, and like there's WWE banners on like lights and stuff like that as you're getting closer, and it's crazy that the whole city is overtaken by WWE. And it's the thing of like you're walking down the street and you stop to go to use the bathroom at like some hole in the wall bar, and standing next to you in the urinal next to you is Kane taking a piss or something like that. It's just like it's crazy, and it's a good time, and it's fun to chat with different fans and stuff like that. And obviously, yeah, you know, you look at some fans and it's like they're just covered from head to toe with WWE gear, and they have like 2 replica belts that they probably paid like $500 each for, but you know, they're happy. Who are we to tell them what they can spend their money on and how they should spend their money? I mean, that's what makes them happy. That's what makes them happy, and that's what I'm realizing. And that's another thing about this promotion. It's like I'm just realizing the effect that wrestling has. Like I look at myself when I was a young kid, and obviously times were different back then, but I was exactly like a kid is nowadays back in the early 90s when I was their age. Like that's how I felt about wrestling. And that's great that people still feel passionately about the wrestling. Do I agree with a lot of things that WWE does? No, but I do understand why they do it. And
maybe we're just not their core audience anymore. You ever think about that?
We're definitely not. And you know, that's totally fine. I still watch the product. I mean, it takes a little bit more to impress me with the product, and I've kind of learned to know that the WWE is going to do things differently than I would, and that's okay. But yeah, no, it's that's the thing I just realized, is that wrestling has been that only constant in my life.
Well, that's why we do the passionate things that we do, and we record a podcast for an hour. I'm about to urinate myself, so I'm going to end it here.
Ew.
I will say this, though. Thank you, everybody that has ever supported us, ever. We couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you guys for coming out for the 24-hour, 26-hour live stream that I did a while ago. Didn't make it all that way, but we made it 24 and a half hours. And thank you again for listening to us. And just know that this wrestling promotion that we want to start is going to happen no matter what. And it's going to be something that you guys are going to be able to see. You're going to be able to put your hands on. You're going to be able to touch. It's going to be something that's going to be very exciting.
It's for you and you and you.
Not him, but that guy. No, I'm just kidding. It's for everybody, and it's for all of us. And it's something that we want to do, and it's something that we're very, very passionate about. And we have our hearts in the right place. I think you guys can see that. Hopefully that you know that we're passionate about this.
Celebrate independent wrestling. I mean, if you haven't, look in your area, look around, see if there's an independent promotion near you. Go to it. It's going to be like how WrestleMania is an experience. An independent wrestling show is going to be an experience for you.
What I say is there's no reason to try and compete and make enemies. Why don't you make friends and celebrate the pro wrestling industry, the independent pro wrestling industry, because it's an industry like nothing else out there, and you should try and make as many people fans of it as they possibly can. And if there's a promotion out there that I see that I'm like, hey, check it out, I'll let you guys know about it. If there's a show coming up in your area, I'll be like, hey, check it out. Tweet me a link or something at TonyPizzaGuy. If there's some promotion you are going to or something you're checking out, let me know, because I'm out to celebrate independent professional wrestling.
And on that note, this Saturday, Magnum Pro Wrestling is having their next event. It's the Battle Royale Cup. So if you're in the area,
Omaha, Nebraska, Sokol Auditorium. Tickets are on sale now at magnum-pro.com/tickets. Check it out.
Sure, doors are at 6. Bell is at 7. Even though we're not affiliated with them, you still should check them out. It's a great
There's a lot of talented people involved and guys that should be in the WWE. And if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, Council Bluffs, Iowa, anywhere in that area, even Lincoln, Nebraska, you should come out and check it out, because you're going to get your money's worth. Talent is amazing. I will tell you that. If you just like great in-ring action, Magnum Pro is the place to be.
Yes, sir. Well, you can take us out.
For Jack Ass over here.
Jackass.
You have to sign us out. I can't do it.
Right. Okay. Well,
I'll see you later, guys.
It's so weird not having the music that usually
round
plays.
And round we go. When they stop. No.
For Anthony Douglas, a.k.a. Tony Pizza Guy, I'm Jack Lubash, and I'm jacking off.
I don't know if we could use that because it's not going to be on my channel only.